As always, happy Sunday, St. Mark.
Happy Sunday.
You know, we're going to do that again. Happy Sunday, St. Mark.
Happy Sunday.
You know, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's daylight savings times, but it almost seemed like we started off just a little bit unusually today. But you know, everything, I think, God does everything purposely, and nothing happens just by chance. You know, so I thank God for all of the situations that we go through in life, and I thank God for seeing everybody's face that is in the house. But I got a question today. You know, when I'm reading through these, it's interesting because every time I read the gospel lesson and read, I do something that's kind of irritating. I think when I'm reading, you know, and every once in a while my brain starts thinking like, oh, that's very good. And then I lose where I'm at sometimes. And I'm like, oh, well, that. And it's like, I get excited because, being honest, I've read this several times and studied it several times. And I think I've preached on this a few times. And I was wondering at the beginning of the week, what can I bring out differently? How does this speak to me differently? Because they say like the Bible is a living document in a sense. And every time you read it, still speaks to you. And this week I was reading and something kind of popped into my mind. But I want to ask y'all something, okay? Because I know I'm not by myself, but have you ever had to clean the kitchen? You know, I'm just saying, you know, everybody has their own different approaches and everything. And I want to be honest with everyone. I'm not good with dishes. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. When I use a plate or a cup, I don't wash it then and put it in the I put it in the sink for a while. And then I might put another one in the sink for a while. The next thing I know, the kitchen is piled up, and then after a while, you know, it's just that time that I got to make a change. I got to do something. But then my approach with cleaning, in a sense, is if the sink is full of dishes, I don't run the water. Then I gotta kind of organize my situation in the kitchen so I can start cleaning. I don't know if y'all get this. Sometimes you gotta straighten up to clean up.
You gotta clean up.
Without messed up. But you know, it's a thing where sometimes we really got to straighten up before we clean up. Some people think that we go straight from, I want to do it, and I'm clean. It's a process in between. You know, even if you're washing your car, sometimes you got to think about, well, do I got the water hose? Do I got the water bucket? Do I got soap? Do I got dish soap or car soap? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I use dish soap on everything, but that's a sidebar. But the thing is, sometimes the first step of anything, though, is the concept of, I want to clean the kitchen. In the same sense of us saying, I want to change. Looking at this story, Nicodemus is one that's saying, in a sense, I kind of want to change. And I look at Nicodemus and it's a lot of different things all of a sudden this morning start popping out to me. But it's like, you know, Nicodemus is one of those people that I look right here and say he's similar to people that go around, in a sense, they don't want to talk about God or really communicate to God until late at night when they by themselves. That intimate moment. Because Nicodemus is a Pharisee, and it's not like Pharisees haven't been in front of Jesus, because they've been challenging him this whole time. And if you look at this really closely, you can almost say Nicodemus a little snitch. If you look at it, because see, he comes to him and says, he don't say, I believe that you're the Son of God. He said, okay, look, we believe that you're from God. It's plural. We, all of our people up here, we know. Okay. You know, it's like this. Politicians that might say in public, yeah, we support that person. And then privately behind closed doors, it's like, no, he crazy. Right. You know, sometimes, and I'm gonna be transparent. Sometimes I almost have to be in the crowd but I might not agree with all the decisions that the crowd might be making. Sometimes it's like what they call playing the game, or being what you have to go with the flow sometimes. And I look at Nicodemus, who around his peers, these people that hate Jesus, even though they know the truth about Jesus, they hate him. And in his public persona, he has to stand up there and say, hey, that's what they say. But he's going to Jesus at night, communicating with him. And he's trying to ask some questions of understanding. He's trying to ask, in a sense, I would say, trying to get out of the C words. Yeah, y'all know the C word, the comfortable situations, the content situations, the conditioned situations, the complacent situations. Some of us are in those C categories right now where it's like we are comfortable in our misery because we have been so conditioned in this miserable life or this miserable situation that we have almost, in a sense, conditioned ourselves to be conformed to be right here. And we do not want to change. We haven't cleaned our kitchen, in a sense. Because that's what Jesus is telling Nicodemus. Look, for you to have a new life and a new change, and really for you to see God's kingdom that is right all the way around you, you have to cleanse yourself, be born again. Nicodemus is like, wait, hold on. I'm old. I'm seasoned. How am I going to be born again? That don't, in a sense, compute. Jesus tried to explain it a little bit differently. And he still doesn't get it. But see, Nicodemus being from the Jewish tradition and the background of the Pharisees, and they're really cleansing and washing of everything, and everything had to be ritually and wash. That's why Jesus is saying, look, you got to be washed by the water, cleaned. But he's really saying, be transformed. You got to be transformed, and your spirit has to be renewed and transformed, because you have to start thinking a little bit differently. And some of us have been thinking the way we've been thinking so long. It's like I don't. Have you ever had to clean up some old grits that's been stuck to a fork because you don't left it there? I'm saying that's some scrubbing, because it's been there and it's been ingrained to the point that it's almost attached to that plate or that fork. Some of us have that same kind of mindset in our minds, that we are stuck, saying that I don't supposed to have a nice house. I don't supposed to be happy all the time. I don't supposed to look at my situation and be happy about it, even if it seems negative. Because you know what? It's funny, because this kind of thing calls us out, really, and make us really say, do you really claim your daddy? I'm just being honest. Do you claim your daddy? Because if you really claim your daddy and you say, well, what all attributes did my daddy bring to the table? Well, my daddy owns everything. He's in charge of everything. Everything that's going on in my life right now, my daddy is actually the architect of that. Of that. So when you sit there and you I don't know, when your car breaks down, your attitude is your altitude. When your car breaks down, you can say, oh, my daddy don't love me, or, oh, this is my way of my daddy trying to shift me into another place. My daddy, I lost my job. Not really. My daddy is making a transformation in me. He's trying to take me somewhere else. If my daddy is in charge of everything, that what I'm going through, he's putting me through because he wants to take me to a better location, a better place. Because see, my daddy loves me. And it ain't that fake love. You know how everybody say, oh, I love you. See ya. You go to a big convention, you meet somebody for 3 hours later on, I love you. May the grace of the Lord be with you. Love you. Y'all know. Just being honest, you know. And even some of us, we look at even the Bible as like a informational tool, when it's really not. It's a transformational tool. It's something that helps you transfer your mind setting to see the power and the glory of God and what you can do in his world, in his kingdom. It's for you. Your God, your daddy, he loves you. And you know what? And he gave you the biggest nation. The biggest nation that you can ever possibly have or be in charge of. Because see, your biggest and greatest nation is your imagination. Understanding where you can be at, what you can do. But see, right now you're conditioned to say, I can't. You got to get out of these C words. See, condemnation in a sense. We see ourselves where we're at and think that this is it. But if all of us in here claim that we got a powerful daddy that loves us, and it ain't one of those competitions that, you know, I'm blessed and highly favored. My father loves me a little bit more than you. No. He loves us all. You know, he loves us all. Now, I will say, some of us talk to him more often than others. Some of us got daddy issues. You know, some of us still are wondering, well, why didn't you bless me with that promotion? Well, why didn't you bless me with that Mercedes? Well, why you take so-and-so away from me? He said, well, I'm in control and I know what's best for you right now. You know, you got let go of that job because you wouldn't leave that job. Because I have a better job for you over here, but you stuck right here. You letting so much grass grow up under you that, you know what, if you don't, you're going to have a forest around you soon. So I got to push you. Yeah, you might not like it, but it's for your greater good. And it's how are you perceiving your situation? God loves you. And the thing is, though, a lot of times we asked, God, make a change in my life. I think we said this in Sunday school, in Bible study Wednesday. It's like you want change. And it's amazing because everything around you is changing and it's moving. And then you turn around and ask yourself, well, why am I still in the same place? Because everything else around you and moving and you ain't moving. You still on that, what's that pentatonic, that little treadmill that they keep advertising all the time? You know, the Peloton, yeah. We on that bike working and ain't going nowhere. You know, moving in place. Feeling like we doing something. They said, well, you just ran 6 miles. Feeling good, but you ain't went nowhere. A lot of us is on that treadmill or that bike, that everything else is moving and evolving, and we still staying still. That's what Jesus is trying to tell Nicodemus right now. You have to change your mind. Your mind, in a sense, has to be washed. Your kitchen needs to be cleaned. You know, if you think about the kitchen in the house, I don't know if you have when you have Thanksgiving and everything, a lot of times people like to cuddle up in the kitchen and start talking most of the time around leftovers or just snacking. But the kitchen is almost the heart sometimes of the house. But if the kitchen is really, really, really messed up, do you say you got a nasty house or just a nasty kitchen? Some of us need to do our spiritual dishes in a sense. You know, use some Holy Ghost SOS pads to scrub. But the thing is, what we're looking at right now is Jesus is being humble and really trying to explain to Nicodemus. I'm going to try to explain this like what they say, tell it to me if I'm a 6-year-old. Give it to me simple. And Jesus is saying, look, I can't really get it too much more simpler than that, because the things that are in the spirit world, you can't even understand what's in the natural world. You can't really gravitate and really understand and hold on to what's going on right now. So let me for you, Nicodemus, you educated scholar of the Old Testament, do you remember the serpent? Do you remember when Moses lifted up the serpent? And if you remember around that, people had to believe. They had to believe that when God created us, he created us with power. He created us to be achievers and conquerors. But at one point we got enslaved, and our minds got enslaved, and we lost that thought of we can do all things. So he told Moses, because the Israelites was getting bitten by these snakes and dying. And he said, okay, this is what we're going to do. Because they forgot that they got the power. Make a snake and tell them, if you get bit by the snake, look at this statue and you're going to be saved. That's what they did. They lifted up the serpent. They were saved. They were healed. It didn't last long. Their minds went back. And that's what Jesus said, the same thing now. You need to believe. You need a new connection. You need to understand that you are empowered by the Father. So I, the Son, must be lifted. You have to believe in me. I have to go through some things for you. For God loved the world so that he gave his only begotten Son. Not me, but him. He came. It's sad to know that you were born to die. You were born to suffer. You were chosen to suffer for some people that are hard-headed. Hard-headed to the last breath in his body. But he did it, and he did it for all, not just a few. If you remember what we do during our communion, and he said, do this for all people. Not just the people of color. Not just the people that are in America. Not just the people that know my name. But for all people. Beautiful people, I'm asking us today, and I'm pleading with us, let's clean our kitchen. In a sense, the step one is knowing that we want that change. Knowing that there's something in our life that we want to change. And then the step two is let's start organizing how we're going to make that change. Some of us, we might not know where we want to go to. We might not know what the destination's supposed to be. But at least you know what you don't want to be. You know where you don't want to go. You know the things that are in your life that you don't want to have anymore. Let's start with working with those, getting those out. Let's start eliminating those. I got I got a holy anger spirit that I need to work on. You know, I might have an anger management problem that I want to take out of my life. I might have a jealousy. I might have a whole list of these C words that I need to change out. And just have that one be blessed. Amen.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I like this groove. True love don't leave room for question or fear. Yeah, and so I trust you, and I know that you'll always be near. Oh, watching over me, guard my mind, my heart, and my ear. Through the rainfall, through the sunshine, the cloudy and clear. They wanna question me, cause I believe in you. I let you guide me in every single thing that I do. Always protecting me, I give my life to you. You walk beside me and carry me through. And that's why I love you. 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 It's true love is more than the words that we say. Yeah, and so my actions speaking volumes each and every day. Yeah, when I mess up sometimes, you let me know it's okay. Ooh, and so I do the best that I can to keep it moving your way. Your love is all of me, I'm just a piece of you. You're right beside me in every single thing that I do. You weren't protecting me, that's how I know it's true. You don't just guide me, you carry me through. And that's why I love you. I love you. That's why I love you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. That's why I love you. Nobody but you and I, Jesus. blood way back on Calvary. Yeah, I love you. That's why I love you. That's why I love you. Can't nobody come between us. Ooh, Lord. Said it is you.